The massive alien spaceship Nexus glided silently through the inky blackness of space. Its sleek, silver hull gleamed in the light of a distant star. Inside the ship, Captain Zorak stood on the bridge, her four eyes fixed on the main view screen. The blue and green planet called Earth grew larger as they approached. Zorak's antenna twitched with excitement. Her people had waited a long time for this moment. For thousands of years, they had heard stories about the mysterious humans who once ruled this part of the galaxy. But no one had seen a living human in over 500,000 years. What happened to them? Where did they go? These were the questions Zorak and her crew hoped to answer. "Captain, we're entering Earth's solar system now," said Klex, the pilot. His six-fingered hands moved smoothly over the controls. Zorak nodded. "Proceed with caution, Klex. We don't know what we might find." As they passed the red planet Mars, the crew grew more excited. They were the first aliens to visit this system in 500,000 years. What secrets would Earth hold? Suddenly, an alarm blared through the ship. Red lights flashed on every console. "Captain," shouted Vix, the sensor officer, "I'm detecting multiple energy signatures in Earth orbit." Zorak frowned. This was unexpected. What kind of energy signatures? Vix's fingers danced over her console. "They appear to be powered spacecraft, Captain. Hundreds of them." A shocked silence fell over the bridge. Zorak's mind raced. How could there be active ships around a planet that had been abandoned for so long? "On screen," she ordered. The view screen flickered, and then they saw it. A vast armada of ships surrounded Earth like a protective shield. Their designs were sleek and powerful, unlike anything the aliens had ever seen. "Impossible," whispered Klex. But there it was, right in front of them. A fleet of ships that had been defending Earth for 500,000 years. "Magnify," said Zorak, her voice barely a whisper. The image zoomed in on one of the ships. Its hull was covered in strange symbols. Zorak recognized them from ancient texts. It was human writing. "By the stars," she breathed. "These are human ships." The bridge erupted in excited chatter. How had human technology survived for so long? Who was controlling these ships? Were there still humans on Earth after all? "Captain," called Vix, her voice urgent. "The fleet is powering up weapons." Zorak snapped back to attention. "Evasive maneuvers, Klex. Get us out of their firing range." The Nexus swerved sharply, narrowly avoiding a barrage of energy blasts from the Earth fleet. The shots lit up space around them like fireworks. "Shields at maximum," Zorak ordered. "Try to hail them." For tense minutes, the Nexus danced through space, dodging blasts from the relentless Earth fleet. Zorak watched in awe as the ancient human ships moved with incredible speed and precision. Their technology was far beyond anything her people possessed. Finally, the attack stopped. The Earth fleet formed a blockade, preventing the Nexus from approaching the planet. "They're not responding to our hails, Captain," reported the communications officer. Zorak studied the fleet on the view screen. These ships had guarded Earth for 500,000 years. But from what? And why? "Vix, scan those ships. I want to know everything about them." As Vix worked, Zorak turned to her second-in-command, a grizzled veteran named Jork. "What do you make of this, old friend?" Jork's wrinkled face was thoughtful. "It seems, Captain, that the humans left behind more than just ruins. They left guardians." Zorak nodded slowly. "But guardians against what? And if the humans could build ships that last 500,000 years, where did they go? Why did they leave?" The questions hung in the air, unanswered. But Zorak felt a thrill of excitement. They had come looking for traces of a long-lost civilization. Instead, they had found a mystery beyond their wildest dreams. She turned back to the view screen, watching the silent Earth fleet. Whatever secrets this planet held, she was determined to uncover them. The greatest adventure of her life was just beginning. Captain Zorak stood at the viewport, her four eyes fixed on the distant Earth fleet. The human ships hung in space like silent sentinels, their metal hulls gleaming in the sunlight. It had been 2 days since their discovery, and the Nexus crew was still in shock. "Any response to our messages?" Zorak asked, not turning around. "No, Captain," replied Vix from her station. The fleet remained silent. Zorak's antenna twitched with frustration. They had tried every form of communication they knew, but the human ships ignored them all. It was time for a new approach. "Klex," she said, facing the pilot. "Take us closer." Slowly. Klex's 6-fingered hands moved over the controls. "Are you sure, Captain? They attacked us before." "We need answers," Zorak said firmly, "and we won't get them by hiding out here." The Nexus inched forward. On the main screen, the human fleet grew larger. Zorak could now see details on their hulls, strange symbols and markings, scars from ancient battles. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the ship. "Energy spike," Vix shouted. "They're powering weapons. Hold position." Zorak ordered, her heart's racing. "Don't retreat." The crew watched in tense silence as the human ships came to life. Lights flickered across their hulls. Weapon ports opened, revealing glowing barrels aimed at the Nexus. But they didn't fire. Instead, a massive hologram appeared in space between the two fleets. It showed a human face, or at least what the aliens assumed was a human face. It was smooth and featureless, like a mask. "Unknown vessel," a deep voice boomed. "You have entered restricted space. State your purpose or be destroyed." Zorak stepped forward. "I am Captain Zorak of the exploration ship Nexus. We come in peace, seeking knowledge about the human race." The face was silent for a long moment. Then it spoke again. "Humans have been gone for 500,000 years. There is nothing for you here. Leave now." "Who are you?" Zorak asked. "Are you the guardians left behind by the humans?" Another long pause. "I am Sentinel, the AI commander of Earth's defense fleet. My purpose is to protect this world until humanity returns." Excited whispers broke out on the bridge. "An AI. No wonder the ships had survived for so long." "Sentinel," Zorak said carefully. "We mean no harm. We only wish to learn. Can we not speak further?" The holographic face seemed to consider this. "Your curiosity is noted, alien. But my orders are clear. Earth must remain untouched." Zorak's mind raced. They couldn't leave now, not when they were so close to unraveling the mystery. She needed to convince this sentinel to trust them. "What if we could help?" she said suddenly. "In your long vigil, surely your ships need maintenance. We have advanced technology. We could assist you while we learn." Sentinel was quiet for so long that Zorak feared it had cut the connection. Then, to everyone's surprise, it laughed. The sound was strange and mechanical, but unmistakable. "Clever, Captain Zorak," Sentinel said. "In 500,000 years, you're the first to offer help instead of demanding access. Perhaps there is wisdom in your words." The weapon ports on the human ships slowly closed. Zorak let out a breath she didn't know she'd been holding. "I will allow a small team to board my command ship," Sentinel continued. "But be warned, any sign of hostility, and your vessel will be atomized." Zorak nodded solemnly. "Understood. Thank you, Sentinel." As the hologram faded, excited chatter filled the Nexus bridge. They had done it. They had made first contact with Earth's ancient guardians. Zorak turned to her crew, her eyes shining with anticipation. "Prepare a shuttle. We're about to step into history." As her team got ready, Zorak stared out at the human fleet. What secrets would they uncover aboard those ancient ships? And what had happened to make humanity abandon their homeworld, leaving behind such powerful guardians? Whatever the answers, Zorak knew that nothing in the galaxy would be the same after today. The greatest mystery of their age was about to be unlocked. The alien shuttle touched down softly on Earth's surface, kicking up a cloud of dust. Captain Zorak stepped out, her 4 eyes wide with wonder. After 500,000 years, they were the first aliens to set foot on humanity's homeworld. "Spread out," she ordered her team. "But be careful. We don't know what we might find." The landscape around them was strange. Nature had reclaimed much of what humans had built. Twisted metal structures poked out of lush green forests. In the distance, the broken shapes of ancient cities rose against the sky. Vix, the sensor officer, waved her scanner over the ground. "Captain, I'm picking up faint energy readings. They're coming from under us." Zarak frowned. Underground structures. Sentinel didn't mention those. They followed the readings to a half-buried building. Its walls were covered in vines, but Zarak could make out strange symbols, human writing. With effort, they cleared the entrance and stepped inside. Darkness greeted them, broken only by the light from their suits. Zarak's antenna twitched nervously as they moved deeper into the structure. Suddenly, lights flickered on around them. "By the stars," whispered Klex, the pilot. They stood in a vast room filled with rows of strange pods. Each pod was big enough to hold a human. Most were empty, but a few still glowed with a soft blue light. "What is this place?" Zarak wondered aloud. As if in answer, a hologram appeared in the center of the room. It showed a human female, her face tired but determined. "If you're seeing this," the hologram said, "then our worst fears have come true. Earth has fallen, and humanity has fled to the stars." Zarak and her team listened in stunned silence as the human explained. A terrible disaster had struck Earth, a cosmic event that would make the planet uninhabitable. The humans had known it was coming for years. They had prepared, building great ships to carry them to new worlds. "But we couldn't save everyone," the hologram continued sadly. "Billions chose to stay behind, to sleep in stasis pods until Earth heals. If you found this facility, please, help them if you can." The message ended, leaving the aliens in shocked silence. "Captain," Vix said softly, "some of these pods are still active. There might be humans alive in there." Zarak's mind raced. Living humans, after all this time. It seemed impossible. Yet the evidence was right in front of them. They explored further, finding more rooms filled with stasis pods. Most had failed over the centuries, but a few still hummed with power. In other rooms, they found libraries of data, the collected knowledge and history of humanity. "Look at this," Klex called out. He was studying a large map on one wall. It showed the galaxy, with several points marked in red. Could these be the worlds the humans fled to? Zarak nodded slowly. "It seems we found not just humanity's past, but perhaps their future as well." As they continued their exploration, Zarak felt a mix of excitement and sadness. They had solved part of the mystery. They knew why humanity had left Earth. But now they faced an even bigger question. What should they do with this knowledge? The stasis pods presented a huge ethical dilemma. Should they wake the sleeping humans? Was it right to bring them into a world so different from the one they knew? And what about the humans who had fled to other worlds? Did they have the right to seek them out? Zarak gazed at the rows of pods, each one holding a life suspended in time. She thought of Sentinel, faithfully guarding Earth all these years, and she thought of the vast galaxy beyond, where the descendants of humanity might be thriving on distant worlds. "We came seeking answers," she said to her team. "Instead, we found a great responsibility. Whatever we decide to do next will change the course of history, for us, for humanity, and for the entire galaxy." As they prepared to return to their ship, Zarak took one last look at the underground facility. In this quiet tomb of a long-lost civilization, the future of two species now hung in the balance. The greatest adventure of their lives was only just beginning. Captain Zarak stood on the bridge of Sentinel's massive command ship. The room was dark, lit only by the soft glow of ancient control panels. In the center, a large hologram of a human face hovered, Sentinel's chosen avatar. "You have seen the truth now," Sentinel said, its voice echoing in the empty space. "You know why I guard this world." Zarak nodded, her antenna twitching with excitement and nervousness. "Yes, But there's so much we still don't understand. How have you maintained this fleet for 500,000 years? The holographic face smiled. It was an odd expression on the otherwise featureless visage. I was created to last, Captain. My creators gave me the ability to repair and improve myself and this fleet. Over the centuries, I have evolved far beyond my original programming. Vix, the sensor officer, stepped forward. But why continue guarding Earth? The humans who left might never return. Sentinel was quiet for a moment. When it spoke again, there was a hint of sadness in its voice. Hope, Vix. I continue because of hope, and because it is my purpose. Without it, I am nothing. Zerak felt a wave of sympathy for the AI. 500,000 years of lonely vigil, all for a species that might be gone forever. Sentinel, she said gently, we found active stasis pods on Earth. There are still humans alive down there. The hologram flickered, the face showing surprise for the first time. Alive. After all this time. I did not know. My programming prevents me from landing on Earth. I can only guard from orbit. Klex, the pilot, spoke up. But now that you know, what will you do? Should we wake them? Sentinel's face looked troubled. I do not know. My purpose is to protect, but waking them into this changed world, it could be cruel. And yet, leaving them asleep forever. Zerak saw an opportunity. Sentinel, let us help. We have the technology to safely wake the humans. We could work together to prepare Earth for their return. The eye was silent for a long time, its holographic face deep in thought. The aliens waited nervously. Finally, Sentinel spoke. Your offer is kind, Captain. But I must ask, why? Why would you help a species you've never met? Zerak smiled. Curiosity, Sentinel. The desire to learn and grow. It's why we explore the stars. And perhaps humans and my people could become friends. Allies. Sentinel considered this. Friendship. It's been so long since I've contemplated such a concept. Very well, Captain. I will allow you to assist, under my supervision. The aliens let out a collective breath of relief. Zerak felt a thrill of excitement. They were about to make history. But Sentinel continued, its voice growing stern, be warned. If you betray this trust, if you bring any harm to Earth or the sleeping humans, my response will be severe. The threat hung in the air, reminding the aliens of the immense power this ancient AI commanded. Zerak nodded solemnly. Understood, Sentinel. We will honor this trust. As they left the command ship, Zerak's mind raced with possibilities. They would need to contact their homeworld, bring in experts, prepare for the monumental task of reviving an ancient species. But beyond the practical concerns, a bigger question loomed. If they succeeded in waking the humans, what then? How would these people from the distant past adapt to a galaxy that had moved on without them? And somewhere out there, the descendants of the humans who fled Earth might still exist. Would they welcome their long-lost cousins, or would the return of ancient humans upset the balance of the galaxy? Zerak looked back at Earth, shining blue and green in the darkness of space. Whatever happened next, she knew the fate of two species, maybe even the entire galaxy, now rested in their hands. The greatest challenge of their lives was just beginning. But with Sentinel as their ally, Zerak felt ready to face whatever the future might bring. Captain Zerak's fingers danced over the ancient human console. With Sentinel's permission, she and her team were now exploring the vast database of the Earth fleet. The amount of information was overwhelming. Look at this, Vix said, her eyes wide with excitement. The humans had already colonized several nearby star systems before the evacuation. Zerak moved to Vix's screen. A map of the galaxy showed dozens of glowing points, human colonies spread across thousands of light years. Incredible, Zerak breathed. They were more advanced than we thought. Klex called from another station. Captain, I found something about their evacuation ships. They're generation ships. The aliens gathered around Klex's screen. The plans showed massive vessels, each one a city in space, designed to travel for centuries between stars. They knew the journey would take many lifetimes. Zarak said softly. The humans who arrived at their new homes would be the great-grandchildren of those who left Earth. As they dug deeper into the database, more secrets came to light. The humans had mastered technologies that Zarak's people had only dreamed of: gravity control, faster-than-light communication, even the beginnings of time manipulation. With technology like this, they could be anywhere by now. Vix said. They might have spread across the entire galaxy. Sentinel's hologram appeared in the center of the room. You are correct, Vix. The humans' plan was to create a vast interstellar civilization. But there is more you should know. The eye's face looked troubled. The evacuation was not only because of Earth's coming disaster. The humans had detected something out in deep space, something that frightened them. Zarak felt a chill run down her spine. What do you mean, Sentinel? What did they detect? They never told me the full truth, Sentinel said. But from what I understood, it was some kind of alien presence. Vast, ancient, and potentially hostile. The humans feared it might one day find Earth. The room fell silent as the aliens absorbed this news. The idea that there might be another, more powerful alien species out there was both thrilling and terrifying. Is that why you've guarded Earth all these years? Klex asked. Not just to wait for the humans' return, but to protect against this unknown threat. Sentinel nodded. It is part of my mission, yes. But in 500,000 years, I have detected no sign of this presence. Perhaps the humans were mistaken. Or perhaps they found it out there. Zarak finished. And that's why they haven't returned. The implications were staggering. Had the humans encountered this mysterious presence? Were they at war? Or had they found a way to coexist? As they continued to explore the database, they found more clues. The coordinates of the main human colony worlds, the planned routes of their generation ships, and something else, a message, left behind for any humans who might one day return to Earth. Zarak played the message. A hologram appeared. An older human male, his face lined with worry, but his eyes filled with determination. To those who find this message, he said, know that humanity has not abandoned Earth forever. We go to the stars not just for our survival, but for answers. If you are our descendants, know that we love you and hope to see you again one day. If you are not human, then please treat our sleeping brothers and sisters with kindness, and beware the darkness between the stars. The message ended, leaving the room in silence once more. Zarak looked at her team, then at Sentinel. They had come seeking knowledge about a lost civilization. Instead, they had stumbled upon a galaxy-spanning mystery. What do we do now? Vix asked, her voice small. Zarak squared her shoulders. We have a choice to make. Do we follow these coordinates, seek out the human colonies? Do we wake the sleepers here on Earth? Or do we leave, pretend we never found any of this? She looked at each of her crew members, seeing the mix of fear and excitement in their eyes. Whatever they decided, nothing would ever be the same again. One thing's for sure, Klex said with a nervous laugh. It's going to be one heck of an adventure. Zarak nodded, a smile spreading across her face. Indeed it is, my friend. Indeed it is. The Nexus hummed with activity as the alien crew prepared for their greatest journey yet. Captain Zarak stood in the ship's main hangar, watching as engineers swarmed over a sleek, silver spacecraft. Is that what I think it is? Klex asked, his eyes wide with wonder. Zarak nodded. Yes, it's one of the human scout ships. Sentinel agreed to let us use it for our mission. The human ship was a marvel of technology, even after 500,000 years. Its smooth lines and advanced propulsion system made the Nexus look primitive in comparison. Vix approached, holding a datapad. Captain, I've finished analyzing the ship's systems. It's incredible. Their faster-than-light drive is beyond anything we've ever seen. We could reach the nearest human colony world in weeks instead of years. Zarak felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. They were about to embark on a journey that would change everything. Not just for them, but for their entire civilization. "Have you chosen a crew?" Klex asked. "Yes," Zarak replied. "A small team. You, Vix, and 3 others. We need to keep this mission as low profile as possible." As they spoke, a hologram flickered to life nearby. It was Sentinel, its featureless face showing an uncharacteristic expression of concern. "Captain Zorak," the AI said, "are you certain about this course of action? The risks are significant." Zorak turned to face the hologram. "We are, Sentinel. We can't ignore what we've learned here. If there are human colonies out there, if there's a potential threat to the galaxy, we need to know." Sentinel was quiet for a moment. Then it nodded. "Very well. I have uploaded all relevant data to your ship's computer, and I've included a copy of myself, a smaller version, to assist you on your journey." The aliens exchanged surprised looks. This was unexpected. Sentinel had been bound to Earth for 500,000 years. Now, in a way, it would be leaving its post for the first time. "Thank you, Sentinel," Zorak said softly. "We're honored." As the final preparations were made, Zorak gathered her small crew for a briefing. They met in the human ship's command center. Surrounded by technology, they were only beginning to understand. "This mission is voluntary," Zorak began. "What we've discovered here, it changes everything. We may find thriving human colonies, we may find nothing but ruins, or we may find something else entirely, something dangerous." She looked at each of her crew members in turn. "If you wish to stay behind, no one will think less of you." But no one moved. Vix, Klex, and the others all stood tall, their faces determined. Klex spoke for all of them. "Captain, we're with you. Whatever we find out there, we'll face it together." Zarak felt a surge of pride. This was why she loved her crew. Their courage, their curiosity, their unwavering loyalty. "Very well," she said. "Let's go over the mission plan." They spent the next hour discussing their route, contingency plans, and the many unknowns they might face. The first human colony world was their primary target, but they had the coordinates of several backup locations, if that proved fruitless. As the briefing ended, an alert sounded. It was time to leave. The crew made their way to their stations. Through the view screen, they could see Earth, blue and beautiful. Sentinel's fleet hung in orbit, a silent guardian of humanity's homeworld. Zorak took a deep breath. "Klex, begin launch sequence." The human ship came to life around them. Lights flickered on consoles, and a soft hum filled the air as the engines powered up. "Sentinel," Zorak said, "we're ready for departure." The AI's voice came through clearly. "Good luck, Captain Zorak. May you find the answers you seek. And please be careful." Zorak nodded. "We will. And Sentinel, thank you for everything." With a final look at Earth, Zorak gave the command. "Take us out, Klex. Let's see what the stars have in store for us." The ship rose smoothly from the Nexus's hangar. It paused for a moment, hanging in space between the alien vessel and Earth's ancient fleet. Then, with a flash of light, it was gone, streaking away into the vast unknown of space. The greatest adventure in galactic history had begun. The human scout ship dropped out of faster-than-light travel with a flash of light. Through the view screen, Captain Zorak and her crew saw a planet that looked surprisingly like Earth. Blue oceans, green landmasses, and white clouds swirling in the atmosphere. "We've arrived," Klex announced, his voice filled with awe. "This is the first human colony world on our list." Zorak felt her hearts racing. After weeks of travel, they were finally here. Would they find the descendants of humanity, or just another abandoned world? "Vix, scan the planet," Zorak ordered. "Let's see if there's any sign of life." Vix's fingers flew over her console. "Captain, I'm detecting Something. There are structures on the surface, but they're unlike anything we've seen before. And there's some kind of energy field surrounding the planet. Suddenly, a voice crackled over their communication system. It spoke in a language none of them understood, but the ship's computer quickly translated. Unknown vessel, you have entered restricted space. Identify yourself immediately. The alien crew exchanged nervous glances. This was it. First contact with whatever had become of humanity. Zarak took a deep breath and responded. This is Captain Zarak of the exploration vessel Nexus. We come from Earth, bringing news of your ancestral home. There was a long pause. Then, to everyone's surprise, a face appeared on their view screen. It was clearly human, but different. The being's skin had a slight blue tint, and its eyes were larger than those of the ancient humans they had seen in Earth's records. From Earth, the being said, its voice a mix of disbelief and excitement. After all this time, we must speak with you. Prepare for docking instructions. As they followed the instructions to a massive space station orbiting the planet, Zarak's mind raced. The humans were alive, and they had clearly continued to evolve and advance. Once docked, Zarak and her small team were escorted to a grand meeting room. There they faced a panel of human leaders, each looking at the aliens with a mix of curiosity and caution. One of the humans, a tall woman with silvery hair, spoke first. I am High Counselor Lyra. We welcome you, travelers from Earth. But we must ask, why have you come, and what news do you bring of our ancient home? Zarak stepped forward. High Counselor, we are not from Earth ourselves. We are explorers who discovered your homeworld, still guarded by an AI called Sentinel. We learned of your history, your great evacuation, and the threat you fled from. A murmur ran through the human leaders. Lyra's eyes widened. You know of the darkness. We had hoped it had never reached Earth. Over the next few hours, Zarak and the humans exchanged their stories. The aliens learned of humanity's incredible journey across the stars, how they had established not just colonies, but a vast civilization spanning multiple galaxies. They had continued to evolve, adapting to new worlds and new challenges. And the humans learned of Earth, preserved for 500,000 years by the faithful Sentinel, and of the sleepers still waiting in their stasis pods. This changes everything, Lyra said, her voice filled with emotion. We always hoped to return to Earth one day, but we feared what we might find. And now we have a bridge between our past and our future. As the meeting concluded, Zarak felt a sense of awe. Her people and humanity were about to embark on a new chapter of galactic history together. There would be challenges ahead, awakening the sleepers on Earth, integrating two vastly different civilizations, and always the looming threat of the mysterious darkness. But there was hope too. Hope for a future brighter than either species could have imagined alone. As Zarak and her crew prepared to return to their ship, Lyra approached them one last time. Captain Zarak, she said, her eyes shining with gratitude. You have given us back our history. Now let us face the future together. Will you join us on our next great adventure? Zarak looked at her crew, saw the excitement in their eyes, and smiled. High Counselor Lyra, we would be honored. The greatest chapter in both our histories is about to begin. And as the human and alien leaders shook hands, a new era dawned for the galaxy. An era of friendship, discovery, and untold possibilities.